Chuhaister is a mythical spirit from Slavic mythology. The tales of him come from the eastern Carpathian Mountains, lands between western Ukraine and northern Romania. He is likely a creation of the Hutzels, referred to today as a Ukrainian subgroup due to their population densities. The lands these people inhabit are mountainous highlands, scattered with forests and pastures. Chuhaister is a friendly forest spirit. His name is sometimes Forest Man or Forest Grandfather. He's one of many Slavic creatures that roam around the trees of Eastern Europe. The arguably more well-known creature, the Leshy, is also sometimes referred to as Forest Man. The most accepted origin of Chuhaister is, sadly, a curse. Chuhaister was once a regular man. In his human life, he greatly offended his neighbour, and in return was cursed to wander the forests until the end of the world. Due to his curse, he is immortal and cannot be harmed by anyone, physical or spiritual. Over the years, it's said his clothes have rotted and ragged away to nothing, leaving him naked. In one version of the tale, Chuhaister is not one man, but 7 men. 7 brothers, in fact, all cursed the same way to become 7 different Chuhaister. Chuhaister is a giant old man, the size of a fir tree, who wanders the forests naked with long scraggly hair obscuring his features. His main attributes hide under tufts of black and white beard, and are barely visible behind his unkempt bodily locks. Perhaps his eyes are blue, or perhaps they're toad-like. Perhaps his lisping words convey that his mouth is toothless. Perhaps his feet are clawed or hooved. With the mass of hair coming off of him, you can never really tell what lies beneath. Chuhaister wanders only the forests, and only where the air is most agreeable to him. He tells those wandering the forests to not be afraid of him, and enjoys talking and smoking and eating by the firesides of humans. He loves to dance and sing and play the flute. He entices people to dance with him. He sleeps in the thickets, curled up tightly into a ball, and he feels lucky when there's a fireside to sleep near. In winter, Chuhaister sneaks into the chimneys of huts to warm himself over the heat of the hearth, singing his songs with the howling wind. This spirit is an incidental protector. For his food, Chuhaister hunts dangerous spirits, similar to mermaids, called mavka. He tears them apart, and he eats them. This in turn saves all those who would fall prey to those mavka. To take advantage of this incidental protection, it's common for shepherds or forest dwellers to leave offerings for Chuhaister in order to lure him to their area. Food such as soup is provided, due to Chuhaister's perceived lack of teeth. Sometimes he is gifted bread and salt, the symbols of Ukrainian hospitality, placed comfortably on high branches. If the food is gone after a period of time, celebrations are held that Chuhaister is around, and therefore dark spirits cannot be. What other powers does Chuhaister have? Let's go over a few. When he hunts mavka, it is said his aggression can carry with it a great wind that causes the howling sounds of the forest. Chuhaister can be the voice on that wind, or even the wind itself. It is said he can remove one of his own legs to chop down trees and can run speedily on the remaining leg. He's so strong that he can simply tear trees out of the ground without even needing to use his detachable leg. Chuhaister can transform and change and become different things, such as wolves. He can teach crafts, gift talents, and, if called upon by knocking 3 times on a tree, come to rescue someone from an evil spirit. Finally, in 2 of the tales that will shortly be covered, Chuhaister has the powerful gift of foresight. In some ways, Chuhaister is not truly good all of the time. You may recall that his heroic protection of people against mavka is normally just a byproduct of him hunting for food. He can certainly be cruel when upset. He can also be well-meaning, but then accidentally create dangers or frustration with his actions. On his more straightforward maliciousness, some versions of Chuhaister are said to despise any person except for those who respect and understand the forest. Be wary not to whistle or shout, they say, lest you disturb and anger Chuhaister, who enjoys whistling and shouting himself. When he's angry, Chuhaister is said to lure people into his forest and make them lost, an act only counteracted by wearing clothes inside out. Of his well-meaning but more dangerous actions, we've already mentioned Chuhaister enticing humans to dance with him. He can get so caught up in the joyous occasion that he can push his companions to exhaustion. He can push them far enough to break their shoes and cause them injury. If you call out in reply to Chuhaister's forest calls, you connect with the dangerous spirit world, and he will come to investigate the sound. He'll investigate the quality of your dwelling. He will then annoy you with incessant, investigative questioning, even if you're asleep. In the absence of sufficient bucket water in the house, for example, he will steal away children to protect them from future fires. Let's go over some tales about this mythical creature. The first story speaks of a woman wishing for the blessing of children. She goes to the forest, finds Chuhaister, and challenges him to a dancing contest. She doesn't win this contest, but she impresses him enough that he offers to fulfill her wish anyway. There is a caveat though. Chuhaister warns her that she will have twin girls, but they would be worth nothing alone, and would only find their worth relying on each other. The woman is pleased, and she's happy to become a mother. On the day of the birth, it is revealed that one of the girls is born without hands, and the other without sight. Regardless, the woman and her husband lovingly raise their children. The one who can see but can't act learns to instruct her sister, who can act but can't see. The twins learn to always help each other, and eventually to live in happiness. The moral of this story speaks to the idea of mental and physical labour, and that one of these is practically useless without the other. A second tale speaks of a shepherd who discovered Chuhaister snuggling up in his hearth. The shepherd slams his axe into the ground, blade side up. This has the effect of bringing Chuhaister under his control. He tells the spirit to sit on the blade of the axe. In payment for his freedom, Chuhaister speaks of an upcoming bear and wolf attack on the farmer's herd, which helps the farmer prepare and protect them. Finally, there's a tale of how two men forced a sighting of Chuhaister. They bought themselves a new, large sack. Then they went to a gate bordering two meadows. They both climbed into the sack at midnight, with only their heads exposed out of the top. Chuhaister goes around the meadows at night, and when he discovered the bag, he had to push it aside as he's unable to go around it. The two men remained as stationary as possible, appearing dead as Chuhaister examined his hurdle. He commented, "I've wandered around the mountain of Svidova and all 77 meadows upon it, but I have never seen such a miracle as one corpse with two heads." Chuhaister left the pair of them and then wandered off into the night. That's it, thanks for watching this episode. I've been CircleStrafe, and as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Toodles!